Hey everybody, this is Petey from the Spinner Rack, and I'm back. I think these Alex Ross Fantastic Four Full Circle videos done well, so I have 2 copies of the original edition and now that's the expanded edition. There's not much else to say, so let's get to it. Only well. See. I don't know. What should I say about this? With the movie coming out, it's definitely a thing you should purchase, right? So, I don't know what I could give you besides showing you the new stuff that I didn't show you before, right? So I've done this. It's great paper, great color. I think everyone but the Thing. I think the Thing is a little too muscular, but what can I say? I can't complain too much. It basically possibly should be a tale that takes place after the Warlock. Was it the him storyline? I think this would be a good period for that. Sue's ready to go. Yeah, so it has the glorious graphic novel as is, so you should check that out. It's right, so we're not even halfway through it. Not even halfway through this graphic novel. This expanded edition has everything, right? Has a modeled version of the Thing, right? That is amazing, right? We have Alex Ross as a kid meeting Jack Kirby, I believe in the 90s before he passed. You have this Man, This Monster, the original story, right? Now, notice there's a difference. Alex Ross totally disregarded that Thing doesn't have any chest muscles here, but the tragedy of the character, I think he captured the humor, but we'll really get what Jack Kirby could bring humor and tragedy, right? So this is right in the middle of the series, so 51. I think it's 102 issues. I guess it's 103 total. And then there's also annuals. So there's 6 annuals. So that puts it up to like 109. There might be something else, but I think that's it, right? So in this original story, the Thing is feeling dejected, feeling like Alicia's going for the Silver Surfer, who was this cool, way out looking dude, right? Handsome compared to the Thing. And this guy is like, come in, right? And this guy is an actual scientist. And he lulls the Thing to sleep. Thing doesn't know what's actually happening, right? And this guy's been preparing all his life to disguise himself as the Thing. He already almost looks like the Thing. So he he swaps powers. He takes the powers, turns Thing human. He becomes a Thing. He's going to go in and destroy the Fantastic Four, right? So he's helping them out. He's not doing anything that makes any sense. And and Ben Grimm shows up. He says, this guy is a fake. Now, believing the Fantastic Four to be almost as serious as anything as a heartbeat, Reed Richards doesn't buy into Ben Grimm being cured. Seeing the Thing present as is enough proof. He said, you look exactly like this. And you also have to remember, there's always doppelgangers in the Marvel Universe. So this tale kind of takes the doppelganger storyline and flips it, right? Whereas Reed is like, I got the Thing here. There's no chance that this guy is actually Ben Grimm. So, and how would you cure him? He can't be cured, right? So, but I need your help, Ben, and no jokes, right? And we have the crazy technology. We got the Torch going to college here. Oh, man. So, only thing is the paper here is a little shiny for that. I would almost want it to be, but let me shut up. Right? We get the Kirby collage here. And we see like Reed Richards built the radical cube so he could go into the negative zone. It was called subspace at this point. But at the same time, there's a dimensional interface where he would go in and hit it and destroy it. Now, Byrne played that up in this story. In Alex Ross's story, he plays up that there's an alternate Earth in there. So there's a different area in the negative zone that goes to an alternate Earth. That's where Alex Ross is doing. So this was going to an interdimensional interface into the regular Earth. But he's negative, that's positive. So of course, when those hit, he was going to explode. So the Thing is like, hey, I got him. This guy is the villain of the Thing. All I have to do is let him go and he dies. But he sees how heroic and how talented Reed was. He doesn't want to do it, so he's about to pull him back in, but it snaps. It's only if you had done it earlier. Look, the Thing goes after him, right? So the villain, as the Thing goes, he sees how worthy Reed Richards is, and he sacrificed himself for Reed, right? And then Ben is saying, doesn't matter, all that matters is Alicia. He's a little bit worried. And he turns back into the Thing, and he said, he's like, that guy must have bought it, right? Reed has survived, but Reed is now distraught because he lost Ben, and Ben comes in there, and he says, the guy made the ultimate sacrifice. Now, we have Alex Ross' original drawing. We also have his early Fantastic Fours, the pitches that he did for Marvels, right? So the Marvel drawings of the FF, he kept drawing them like the Professor. As a kid, I used to think of the Professor as Reed, but over time I realized Professor isn't a man of action, and Reed is more as Gary Moore. I think it was a Gerald Moore who does the voice of Reed Richards. That's what we kind of need. So I always go for Jeffrey Hunter from Star Trek's The Cage, right? So we got this poster, one of the issues of Earth X over there, another poster. This is Marvel's. And then he started, he asked Marvel if he could do a FF project. And he started sending samples in. He was thinking of the FF. He was redesigning them and stuff like that. And this is Travis Cheris. He liked the Force, so he wanted to utilize that. So he asked him. The guy said yes. He also liked this funky reprinting of the Fantastic Four. So he wanted to utilize that. Right? We see some of that here. And this also plays to the comic book coloring I always talk about. So when I heard he was doing this, I was just like, I was all in already. I was all in. You could see, I always bring up the comic book coloring. You can see some of that here in Sky Masters, right? Having some of the mood coloring. And I was glad to finally get a book to kind of utilize that. Byrne does it from spots, solid colors. Does a stylized version of it, but not many. Some colorists still use it, and so he's trying to come up with a new logos, all right? And he figured his read finally, and he was trying to work in the squiggly lines into the costume, right? So he had the four that I showed you that Travis Cheris was doing. So he wanted to work in the Kirby squiggles to make it into a shiny sort of outfit, right? And then he gets more in depth of what he was thinking about. Another poster that he did, the cover of the marriage issue. Totally gets the FF wrong. The issue that he was going to be basing a lot of the subject matter of it in. Sort of doing this origin page, like kind of DC origins, right? But then some of the things that inspired other posters, the original FF. What else is here? Then some of the bits, him taking some pictures, kind of working that into the first image. Some of the bits would be stuff on the wall, right? So he would utilize a lot of stuff. See, there's a difference. You have him doing that, but he has muscles. He's like a bodybuilder. So he does have arm muscles, but that's all he should have. Back in, before he got his full rocket, he had no real muscles. Like no muscles at all. So he used the original design as Byrne did to draw Herbie. Almost copied some of the images for his pictures here. Some of the monsters show up. What else? So then, he was working out the outfits. So he had his outfit. So it's almost good that the book didn't come out as it did, because I think a lot of Alex Ross's stuff have a lot of. Well, I would have liked it, and for them, it didn't matter. This stuff was looking good as it was going along. So some of these bits we see, and he did some models here of the characters. This shows up. These two things show up in the book. This is the Fantastic Car. This is the Black Panther ship that he sent them. All right. He didn't do the distortion effect the same way Kirby did, but some bits he did utilize in there. All right, the ship that was in there, the shot of Annihilus and the ship. He wanted to use some of the aliens from Byrne's issue. He got kind of 60s with the kind of TV 60s with that face, but otherwise, it doesn't really coincide. But he had a shot, like there's a shot of Janice, right? That kind of is similar, which I kind of think that would have worked for the entire series, but he kind of went a little funky 60s, like a 60s album cover, right? So here is the closest these two look, but this is so much more TV, I don't know what the saying is, but, right? So it's really cool to get to see all the stuff that it kind of draw from. And you see Byrne, he was trying to utilize it as the anti-Earth. Now, as I already showed you in FF51, the dimensional interface was going to regular Earth, right? So a little bit of bickering in here. His image has come from these two, this original one, this remocked one with the wacky colors. Some of these buildings was established on the anti-Earth. So I would just say, instead of saying he was negating Byrne's story, he's just using another part of the negative zone to this anti-Earth, right? And this character, he's in it. She's in it. Her Byrne character's also in it. Not just those alien faces. And some other characters that showed up in that issue. There's, I think, a lion character that showed up, right? Matching these sort of things. The nigga bands, right? There's a woman that Byrne came up with. And the same art is on the walls. So then we get to see some of his layouts. His layout's extremely detailed. I think almost anyone could finish these. There's plots, so we get to see his pencils. If you're not watching this full screen on your monitor, like, I don't know what we're here for. So it would be interesting to see someone else, see what Scott Williams would do with this. I almost would say Tom Palmer, see, rest in peace, see what he would do with these pages. But obviously Alex Ross did an amazing job on his own work, right? And yeah, the layouts are really, that's what his action figures. Kind of wish he'd get us to, who's that guy? To Todd McFarlane and make his own thing. A model that he made, him getting in position, taking photos, utilizing photos to get angles, right? And then those are the layouts. Good Lord. So here's the pencils. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Yeah, so we're not, yeah. So this is almost, well, it's not an artist edition because it's not the same type of paper, but you get to see the pencils. And yeah, I don't know. I think of Tom Palmer. I always go for Sal Buscema. I think he was one of the best inkers. I think having him do it, it'd be interesting to see it. Or interesting to see him do it from the layouts. But yeah, I think Sal would do a tremendous job on this. Who else? Wycheck. Bob Wycheck is another good one. It'd be interesting to see what Terry Austin would do with this too. I think Byrne with the dual shade. I think, well, you don't need to add any more texture to his work, so maybe not Byrne. But who else is there? I'm trying to think. Yeah, Janice kind of became kind of Valley of the Dolls. He went from Kirby Astronaut to kind of Valley of the Dolls. Or what's that thing? The Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's what it is. So it's kind of like that kind of goth look, which isn't really Kirby, right? But, you know, and this is this drawing that he's done many times over, and now we see it finalized, right? And the Fantastic Four saved the day. Now, what we need in this story, this is great, and I think it's the most visual of stories that you could have. So I think you could add a little more drama to it. Maybe, it has Reed worrying, and look at him fleshing out the pencils. So adding a lot of tone to it. So, and then inking it. So he doesn't lose anything in detail in the process. Like, he just, yeah, I mean, we all know his painting, but it's interesting to see this. I think the way Byrne works, it's like loose layouts to inks. But this is a graphic novel, so you obviously going to take as much time as you can. But if he's working the inks, you go from layouts to inks and trust his abilities, But this is also a good way to work too, So to gain speed, I think Klaus Janson also brought this up. He says, if I'm inking my own work, the pencils are going to be extremely loose, right? And I think this book could be sold like this. In any of these stages, this book could be sold. And I don't have the Neil Adams book, but oh no, no, get that out of there. Whatever, this sucks. All right. So you think that's it? You're going through this whole story again. I'm going to quickly go through it because I'm pretty sure this is fairly long, right? And Reed worries. Oh yeah, so this is actually present day because they got both of their kids, and I don't believe in Valeria. He got his color guides, and he's doing color reference here on a small scale, and he's working it up into this. So it feels like a long process, but he got it done and it came out, and it's classic, right? But we also have, since he wanted to do the Fantastic Four, but who is it? Dan Slott was doing it. They allowed him to do covers, right? So he came up with a new logo for the Fantastic Four, which is pretty decent. Here we see full color, full figures, right? This is something else he was thinking of, him trying to do Kirby. And well, it could have worked like that too, right? So we start to see the FF covers, right? And this would be for the regular series and the alternate covers. So it feels like I got the whole Alex Ross in one package. I think there was Marvelocity that had some of the prelim drawings, and I didn't get that because I wanted it for the FF. And I'm glad this came to fruition, that. And he also wrote this himself, right? So we get this nice period. They're taking the frog to, this is an alternate universe, right? And I think I started buying it around here, or the issue before. And I don't think I guess I had this. I know I have this one. Right, and this is them fighting some vampires, I think. I think this issue was Reed and Alicia, and the last issue he did, and some acknowledgments. All right, and I think that's it. So thank you guys for sitting through this. It gathers lint, but it's still worth it. All right, spin rack out.